Ladies and gentlemen, this is Together We Stand. The relevant verifiable credentials that qualifies me to introduce this presentation is having served as a solution specialist in the field of information and computer science. Within academia, I've worked for 2 separate universities out of the state of Ohio. I've also worked for Productivity Point International, a subsidiary of the Microsoft Corporation. It offers college accreditation and all manner of Microsoft IT certifications. In addition to the field of academia, I've worked a variety of government and private organizations. As a result, I've accumulated over 25 years of experience and expertise specializing in system implementation. My experience across academia, government, and private sectors shapes my understanding of system. And system, without question, is the most powerful economic, social, and political infrastructure available to man. A powerful framework designed to bring people, resources, and actions together in a cohesive and unified manner with a singular purpose: ensure collective self-interest. The evidence is clear. No thriving, self-sufficient people exist without a system to govern, guide, and protect their interests. Far more than just a program, system is the foundation upon which all successful and self-determined groups operate. Be that a government, a corporation, or a nation, system is the foundation upon which it stands. We have the talent, we have the intelligence. What we don't have is an organized framework that allows us to operate at full capacity. The very purpose of this presentation is to illustrate taking ownership of our economic, social, and political collective by implementing a system that lays the financial foundation for building businesses, launching industries, and creating institutions, while simultaneously it tackles the full spectrum of our most pressing challenges. But before we begin the simulation, we need to take a moment to clearly understand what we're looking at on screen. We begin by adding just one member to the membership table. And with that single action, we can observe the financial mechanics of our entire network. Let's focus our attention on the solution table. The solution table results in 4 elements that are critical to our network: the total number of membership, the total fees collected from membership, the 1% cost of our system, and the remainder, our shared economy, which funds each economic initiative. This demonstrates how each department and each initiative within our financial network obtains its individual share. So for those of you truly paying attention, what you are witnessing is the highest standard of transparency and accountability. Nothing hidden, nothing disguised. Every number, every process, visible and verifiable. Let's continue. What you see happen with this one member is the exact same process you see with 1,000 members. And what you see happen with 1,000 members is the exact same process you see with 100,000 members. And what you see happen with 100,000 members is the exact same process you see with 1 million members. With each iteration of an increasing number of members, our 4 critical elements are updated: the total number of membership, the total fees collected from membership, the 1% cost of our system, and the remainder, our shared economy, which funds each economic initiative. The system behaves the same way at every level. This is how we know that the model is sound, stable, and scalable. Known as proof of concept, the mechanics remain the same, only the scale changes. This exercise not only showcases the financial framework of the system, but also highlights its inherent scalability. As the number of membership increase, we observe in real time how the system expands and how resources are distributed throughout the entire framework. Scalability serves as the lens through which the dynamic nature of our system is illustrated. Notice, too, that the solution table is more than just numbers. It's the physical manifestation of our solution. It's proof of the Justice Empowerment Solutions promise at the top of the screen to provide the means, people, money, and infrastructure necessary to achieve our mission. Observe the membership table. In our membership table, we display an even distribution of membership numbers across all tiers. Using this even distribution of membership numbers is not to suggest that actual participation will follow this pattern, but rather it serves as a neutral starting point, so that as real numbers come in, we can adjust the numbers accordingly. But for now, this approach keeps the focus on what truly matters, building the system, while also demonstrating scalability in the most straightforward way possible. We now take a look at the three major components that shape our system: principle, input, and output. First, the principle component. The principle component is our governing body. It is the guardian of our mission. It oversees every department, evaluates every initiative, and ensures that each action serves our mission, our holy grail, so to speak, with unwavering allegiance. 15% of the system budget is assigned to the principal component. Next is the input component. The input component is our outward face, the marketers, the recruiters, the relationship builders, those responsible for drawing in new membership and strengthening ties with existing members. They ensure that our members see themselves not just as members, but as active participants in shaping our future. Finally, the output component. The output component is the think tank and innovation hub. This is where experts are cultivated. This space is designed to foster collaboration among innovators, creators, researchers, and businesses to develop new ideals, programs, and products. This is where isolated efforts and programs come to be transformed into nationwide initiatives. And businesses, institutions, and industries are either built from the ground up or expanded to serve the needs of our people. 85% of the system's budget is shared between the input and output components. Together, these three components, principal, input, and output, form the engine that drives everything we build. Before we start the simulation, let's address the two red numbers you see on screen, the compensation amount and the economic initiatives. The compensation amount represents what the system can pay each worker if its budget were divided evenly. The economic initiatives represent how many initiatives we can launch and how much funding each would receive, again, if divided evenly. Now, of course, in the real world, compensation and funding would not be distributed equally. Those are internal system decisions. But using equal division here allows us to clearly see the full capability and strength of the system itself. Before the simulation begins, we can manually adjust these numbers to explore a simple what-if analysis. What if, for example, compensation were $25,000 instead of $1,000? What if we launched 50 initiatives instead of 10? This brief exercise reveals the power of system, where every number has a purpose, every dollar has a job, and every change produces a clear and predictable result. Nothing is hidden. Transparency turns decisions into strategy, not emotion. In the early stages of building our system, lower compensation serves a strategic purpose. It allows us to maximize participation. We want to bring in as many hands as possible into building the foundation. And those who help build early position themselves as future experts, stakeholders, and long-term contributors to a system that they helped to create. And as the system grows, through increased membership, resources, and initiatives, compensation grows with it. Earnings scale upward with the strength of the system. Now that we understand the mechanics, we can focus on the larger purpose. Because this simulation is not just meant to inform you, it's meant to adapt our thinking towards a shared vision. It's meant to align us so that when we speak about power, progress, solutions, or collective responsibility, we're all referencing the same framework, the same mechanics, the same future. This is why a shared vision matters. It gives us a structure that is visually expressed, mathematically demonstrated, and open to analysis. So we always have a common reference point for what we are building together. Let's begin the simulation.
I was like, you know what? We got over 1 million Black people right now who are unemployed, who were gainfully employed at this time last year. And they're only unemployed because of the racism. And so if we could figure out how to, one, create the Black enterprise and the entrepreneurial ventures and spaces that will allow us to create jobs for people. One, create the Black enterprise and the entrepreneurial ventures and spaces that will allow us to create jobs for people. But some of the jobs we need to be creating are jobs where your whole 9-to-5 focus as a social worker, your whole 9-to-5 focus as a medical doctor, Your whole 9-to-5 focus as a banker is to think about how to create social work products that are going to work for our community, how to create medical products and systems and structures and research papers that are going to benefit our community, how to be a banker who is not going to produce racist, toxic loan products like the ones that had us losing our houses in the foreclosure crisis, but how are you going to create mortgage products or financial products that are going to be able to factor our economic history in mind and then empower us to be more economically sustained.
My kings, we got to build up the nation, family. We want to call ourselves men. We got to build institutions to put our children to work. Come on now. If we're going to call ourselves men, we got to create infrastructure. Infrastructure for the whole community, not just your family. Negroes love to talk about what they're doing for their children. That's beautiful, brother. I commend you. But what are you doing for the community?
I got to build these networks. But then since your community hasn't been uplifted as a group, you still have problems because you need collective uplift so you can maneuver in a bunch of different areas. You need all of that, and you don't have none of it.
Because they're doing it on a systematic level. A system is always going to be able to do more than an individual. A system is always going to be able to do more than an individual.
It's happening because we have no mechanisms in place to govern us, to put us in a situation where we're functioning and moving as a unit.
The point, brothers and sisters, is that if we just come together, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said it would solve 95% of our problems. Our unity is more powerful than a nuclear bomb.
We don't control our own communities. We don't control our own institutions. And because we don't yet control our own system, one of the ways we're able to do that is what? When we control our dollars so that we can underwrite, so that we can fund our own schools, our own stores. Are you hearing me? Our own institutions, our own clinics, our own hospitals, our own banks. It's possible, Black family.
I know people may need a change of leadership. Someone more open to new ideas.
I'm not a leader.
But you're a scientist. Someone who can see a problem and envision a solution. The same definition could apply to a leader.
The solution to systematic racism is to build a new system. That takes confidence, it takes vision, it takes commitment, it takes sacrifice. The question is, who's with this agenda?
The entire world has fallen under the satanic sway of an evil system, a system that rests comfortably on the backs of Black people in the U.S. So long as we remain underneath this evil, the best that the world can hope for are minor cosmetic changes. A Black celebrity here or the occasional Black president there, but these are distinctions without a difference because it doesn't change the balance of power, and the balance of power is based on resources. We don't need different optics. We need a different status quo. If you destabilize the foundation of this evil system of racial hierarchy, then the entire system will fall because there will be nothing to hold it up.
$1.1 trillion comes through Black hands. So don't say we don't have money. We don't have unity. And if we had unity and pooled our money, then we could begin to take control this year.
This is why when we talk about creating changes in our people, we must talk about then the presentation of a total system, not just a jobs program, a total system.
Would we rather simply fit in and be accepted because it's easier than standing out and building our own? Maybe we just don't understand how up our situation really is. Or maybe we do, and we just don't give a anymore. Are we done as a people? Like seriously, are we done? Is it a wrap? Have white people actually won the race and we're just too stupid to realize it? I mean, what in the are we doing?
We must set as our goal economic development, the development of the economic status of our people. We must engage in the development of a nation within a nation. How can a people keep saying that they are kept out of this society and are separated and segregated from this society and not use that to their advantage and create a nation within a nation?
The problem is we have no organization. We have no collective way of addressing our systemic problems. And that's the problem. We don't do anything as a collective.
We, brothers and sisters, have to build our own economic system and create our own markets that determine what's valuable to us, because as long as white people, white America, the government, as long as they have the right to determine what's valuable to black people, we will always be undervalued and devalued.
I made a speech 4 years ago in Kentucky at a family meeting. I challenged everybody at least start manufacturing your underwear. And to get the point across, I put it in the crudest possible way. People who can't make their drawers can't control a nation.
Black children are our most valuable possession and our greatest potential resource. Any meaningful discussion of the survival or the future of black people must be predicated upon black people's plan for the maximum development of all black children.
We have spent so much of our energy and time trying to be accepted, trying to be integrated, trying to be a part of a system that does not want to accept us.
I always remind us it's time for us to unify amongst ourselves. It's time for us to operate as a black nation within a nation.
They're rubbing non-justice in our faces right now. Okay? We're on our own, family. We have to start acting like we're on our own, and we have to start producing justice. We have to produce justice.
What can we do right now that's going to just make us all better and stronger people moving forward?
Find the unity among those who are like-minded. Find the unity among those who are like-minded. One major issue that we have is that we think that we have to unite with every single individual among our people in order for us to become successful, when in reality, that isn't the case. We have a number of our people that are too far gone mentally, whether they are programmed, they've been mentally infiltrated, or what have you. So we have to unite among those of our people who are like-minded. There is no one else that we need to rely on. This fight that we are dealing with, I refuse to not do as much as I can at this time to set them up to be more successful, more able, and have more progress in the future than we have had in this current situation or those prior to.
I don't know if you can think of a people who were more held back, more deprived, more sabotaged than African Americans. You took everything away from them and took them away from everything. They started in your country at less than zero, literally regarded and treated as subhuman, not allowed to learn to read or write or anything for hundreds of years. But you see, they come from a people of accomplishment to one degree or another, not a people of piracy and theft and appropriation. They come from a people who created and built and developed in their own land. And even though you did everything that you could possibly do to suppress them, to hold them down, to hold them back, and you're still doing that until today, nevertheless, I don't think anyone can dispute the fact that African Americans have become a global cultural superpower. Culturally, they're a superpower. Whatever cultural soft power that America has in the global South, it's African American.
As Garvey noted so many years ago, everywhere he went, the black man is on the bottom of the economic, social, and political ladder. Those circumstances have not changed. In many instances, they are getting worse. We will find numbers of books asking, can the African survive? Our very survival into the next century is in question.
If the trajectory of the past 3 decades continues, by 2050, the median white family will have $174,000 of wealth, and black median wealth will head downward to $600. In fact, median black family wealth is $0 by 2082. $0 by 2082.
There was an astonishing study just published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. This was a study that looked at the fatality risks during encounters with the police. What they concluded, the sixth leading cause of death, behind number 1, accidental death, number 2, suicides, number 3, homicide, number 4, heart disease, number 5, cancer. The sixth leading cause of death among black men in the United States is homicide by police, killing by police. Now, you see nothing like that in any other developed country in the world, period. But if you're black in the United States, if you're a black man in the United States, the odds are out of every 1,000 black men in the United States, 1 will be killed by a cop. Out of every 1,000 black men in the United States, 1 will be killed by a cop. 1 in 1,000? But 1 in 1,000, I mean, that's mind-boggling.
And man, I don't even know if we're going to recover, man, because when you think about all that, the intermixing of the races, and got this mass incarceration, and then you got the drill music, man, just that's promoting violence. And again, our youngsters are drinking this Kool-Aid. Man, it's a sad state of affairs, man. And like I said, I don't want to lose hope, because there's always a chance to throw that Hail Mary pass and win, man. But it looked like we losing to me, man. It looked like we losing.
Federal and state prisons, 1.5 million. Local jails, 785,000. Juvenile facilities, 86,000. It's driven by black men. It's driven by black men. Little bit of black men that come from slaves and Jim Crow largely produce all the prisoners. And don't nobody care. Don't nobody care.
These issues have to do with our survival, about whether or not we're going to stay on this earth. It has to do with our stability. And if black people, even in a place like this, cannot be interested in survival and stability, that means we're not going to survive.
At that time, Malcolm said 100 million. Hakeem Adabudi said 250 million. Every generation, the numbers are going up to 600 million, and some are saying close to a billion. Africans have been killed at the hands of European aggression.
We have a country now where 1 out of 3 young black men is under criminal justice supervision. I guarantee you we would be working on alternatives to prison if that were true of the white population.
Who cares how many businesses your son has if he's a homosexual and won't give you no grandchildren? How much do you care how much education your daughter has if she will not get a black man, not produce a black family, and not produce a future? So if we don't look at this for what it is, it's death, it's the end of the game, and make a decision that we're going to purge. Everybody can't make it. We got to have some standards, and these are just basic.